Hello and welcome to today's video, which is going to be a Project Pan finale. This was for the Finish 10 in 2020 Project Pan. I started it at the beginning of the year. I had some difficult items in here. I've been working on them for the majority of the year, and I gotta say I did quite well on this project. So I'm very, very excited for this finale. If you're interested, I have done some other Project Pan finales this month. I'll leave my Project Pan playlist in the description box. Also, I've done my Pan That Palette finale. Tomorrow should be my year-long makeup empties video. I am very, very excited for that. And then stay tuned because in the new year, I'll be starting some new projects and a new Pan That palette. So I'm very, very excited. Let's just get into this. This was the only non-makeup item in this project, and that was the Britney Spears Fantasy Body Spray. This took me a very, very long time to finish. It's a pretty large bottle. It is 8 fluid ounces. I really love this scent. I recently did a perfume collection video, and I have since purchased the actual perfume of this, which is much longer lasting. They smell identical, but this disappears off my skin within 30 minutes, whereas the perfume actually lasts all day. So I'm really, really happy that I finished this. I do like to finish a few different fragrances each year because I do like to try new ones out, but I don't want to buy too many at once. So I'm really happy this is done. Let me show you the only item that is not technically an empty, but I did make very good progress, and that was my Hourglass Ghost palette. Now, I had various goals throughout the year on this. Initially, I wanted to finish half the palette, and then I just wanted to hit pan on a few, and then I thought I would just finish a few of the shades. Well, I didn't do any of that. Let me show you though. I did hit pan on these two here, which are dim light and diffused light. And I did use the rest of the shades, but they don't really have visible progress. Let me show you what this palette looked like at the beginning of the year though, because I really made fantastic progress on this. I really did, especially with these two right there. I mean, I've used a lot of them up. I'm actually really, really happy about this progress. I mean, I wish I had more visible progress on the highlighter, the blushes, or the bronzer, but I did use them. But these baked products, they don't really show progress until you're like really, really wearing down that dome. So I gotta say I'm pretty happy with this. I did purchase the Hourglass Sculpture palette this year, and that also has diffused light and dim light in it. And I also have a full size of diffused light. I definitely don't need to buy that, and I don't think I would want to get any more of these larger Hourglass palettes unless I were to completely finish this up and my Sculpture palette, which is clearly not going to happen. They definitely have a lot of repeat shades in them, but I like to use dim light as a finishing powder and diffused light. I've used either as finishing powder, or that one actually works for me as a face setting powder because it has a yellow undertone and it matches my skin tone. So I love those powders. I'm really happy with the progress that I made. So all in all, it's not a total fail. All right, the rest are empties. I finished this primer. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business, the Illuminating Primer. I really did enjoy this. However, this is something that I mostly was working on at the beginning of the year, and I've mentioned I'm just not a fan of illuminating primers. I would rather use like a pore filling primer and then put illumination where I want it, because I have combination skin. And I just found that these illuminating primers, they're just not the most flattering for my skin type. However, I do think that these CoverGirl primers are very, very high quality. I also had the pore filling one, which I did finish, and I really like that one. I would repurchase. And if you like illuminating primers, I do think you would enjoy that one. One of my favorite foundations of all time was in this project, and honestly, I miss this so much. I really, really want to buy it again, but I have enough foundations right now. This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. What is my color? Light beige. Used this all up. I really like it. This is a great foundation. This is in my top 3 or 4 best foundations I've ever tried. This was my second bottle of this one. The color match is very, very good for me. I definitely want to get this again at some point. Again, I don't need it right now, but this is really, really good on my combination skin. Lasts all day. Full coverage, but it's not cakey. It is really good. I had 2 lip products in this project, and they are both empty. I am very happy about this. Both of them were by Morphe. One of them is the liquid lipstick in Virgin. This is just a neutral liquid lipstick. I scraped this all out. I actually do like the Morphe formula as far as their liquid lipsticks go. I don't buy from the brand anymore, so I'm happy to finish some of their products up. But I did enjoy this liquid lipstick, and how I usually wear neutral liquid lipsticks is with a gloss on top. I never wear a neutral liquid lipstick on its own. Today I'm wearing a bold color, so these I'll wear on its own, but yeah, that I would wear with the gloss on top. And then I also finished a Morphe lip gloss. This is all scraped out as well. I don't take the stoppers out of lip products very often because it's a little bit messy. And I gotta say, with this packaging, it's actually pretty easy to scrape all the way up to here. This is in the color Boho. This gloss, I would say this is only okay. I was not super impressed with the Morphe lip glosses. I definitely don't like it as much as the liquid lipstick formula. And I often wore these two together because they're really similar colors. So I'm very happy to have finished these lip products. All right, and the last two were particularly challenging products for me. The first one is this. This is a bronzer, well, at least it was a bronzer by Becca. This was in Capri Coast. This was only a mini size, but it is all gone. I finished this towards the beginning of the year, but I had been working on this towards the end of last year, so this was not completely like full to the top when I started this project. I did like this. I enjoy the Becca bronzers. I actually would consider maybe getting a full size. I have this same color in a face palette though, but I will say it's in that Becca Afterglow Sunset palette, and the pans are so small in that palette. It is incredibly difficult to get a bronzer brush in there. So it's really not the most practical. So I might actually purchase a full-size bronzer by Becca at some point. This was great, really nice formula. Has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's not shimmery. It was great. And again, this was only a mini. This is a 0.08 ounces, but I mean, it took me several months to finish this. Also, in the new year, I am going to start a similar project to this one, which will be year-long and will have some difficult items as well. And I do plan on putting a bronzer and a blush in that project also. Speaking of blush, I finally finished this. I am so happy. This is Wet n Wild Pearlescent Pink. It is gone. This took me so long, and I can actually tell you exactly how many uses. This was the first item I've ever tracked to complete usage. It took me 271 uses. Which, I mean, it's less than a year because I already had pan at the beginning of the year. So I had used it a good amount last year. And then this year, the first half of the year, I was not that consistent with using this. I was probably only using it 2 to 3 times a week. And then I really increased my usage because I started to realize I was not finishing it yet. So let me show you what it looked like towards the last update. I did end up repressing it, and I showed that on Instagram. I did a whole video on how to repress if you're interested in seeing that. I do a really easy way, and that definitely helped to use it up because once it got to the edge, it was very difficult to get an even coating on my blush brush, and it was looking super choppy. So repressing it really helped. 271 uses. Honestly, that's not that bad for a blush. This was a very powdery formula. And how much was in here? 0.2 ounces, which may be a little on the smaller side for a blush. I was looking through my blush collection the other day to see how much was in them. And a lot of the ones I have that are full size have between 0.23 and maybe like 0.3 ounces total in them. So definitely probably one of the easier blushes that someone could pan, and it still took me, you know, if it was everyday use, it would have been less than a year, but yeah, I didn't use it every day. So it took me well over a year. It's crazy. Panning blush is so difficult. In the last few years, I have finished about 1 blush a year, but people that finish multiple blushes a year, wow, I am impressed because panning blush is extremely difficult. And I do want to finish one in the future. Like I said, I'll be doing a project with a blush in it as well, but I just think for me, there is no way I could finish more than 1 blush a year. That would just be impossible. Alrighty, that is it for this project pan finale. I am very happy with this. This was a very successful project. I mean, I had an entire year and some of these things had good use on them already. Like that blush I mentioned, I had some pan on it at the beginning of the year, but these were some incredibly difficult items, but I'm so happy. So check out my project pan playlist if you want to see more. Stay tuned for the year-long makeup empties. I am so excited for that. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.